big up, everybody. It's your boy, Mark and MUFC fan. Good evening, good evening. I hope you are well. Bombs are dropping. I say bombs are dropping. And guys, if you know what I mean, it's some of the reports that have been coming out, and some people have been saying it's not about discipline. Some people have been saying it's about other things. But what I would say it's about the way you display yourself, the way you give your all for Manchester United. And if you don't deliver on the pitch, this is the only result that is could be had. Because guys, we can't say we haven't seen this coming. Lots of fans have been complaining about the performances of lots of players over the last couple seasons. They have not been seeing that energy, that consistent performance week in, week out. And they all said it does not worth the wages that we pay most of these players. Now, what has been coming out, guys? Well, I can show you. It started with a little bit of a with little bits of comments that really didn't show or say that it means, guess what, it's over. But if you read between the lines, you can see it's been a problem from different situations. And if you can look at this article right now, Fabrizio Romano, that I'm sharing with you guys in this current moment, just check it out. And it says Ruben Amorim on Garnacho and Rashford. When people at the club are losing jobs, we have to put standards really high. The way you train is really important. Not only that, but the way you display yourself, your attitude. And I'm going to move on, guys, because it's going to get really interesting. We're going to get directly into the situation because the current report right now, as we speak, Amorim is largely unimpressed with Marcus Rashford, guys. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what's going on and why, but this is very interesting, guys. This is some news that to some fans might be a lifeline they've been waiting to hear for a very long time. And guys, for me, I'll be honest and say this. I'm pretty interested in hearing what's happening here because I want to know what's going on. Because I'm a fan that thinks that Manchester United deserves a player that's going to give their all week in, week out for Manchester United, run tirelessly, get the job done, and so on and so forth. But currently, as we're speaking, Melissa Reddy is dropping a bomber, guys. And while they were euphoric against the Derby win last night, the headlines this morning are murmurings that Marcus Rashford's future at the club is following his own admittance. It's certainly a courageous call from Ruben Amorim to drop the two sides of the side's top two goal scorers in such a high stakes clash away to their fiercest rivals, though one that ultimately paid off. Perhaps Rashford and Garnacho inclusions would have led to Amad Diallo being withdrawn from the dying embers of the match, during which he ultimately went on to win the penalty for the equalizer before clinching a last gasp winner in heroic similar to last season's FA Cup quarter-final. All the eyes will be on Carrington this week as side prepares for Thursday's Carabao Cup tie at Tottenham Hotspur. It's a game where you expect none of, if not both forwards, to be given a nod, as when they're in form, they can undoubtedly do a lot of damage. Rashford scored in each round of the League Cup during his career best campaign 22-23, including the final. But the reports coming out from Carrington right now is Ruben Amorim is unimpressed with Marcus Rashford's approach and his application of his professionalism in training and towards his job. After receiving the news that he was not going to be in the team, he was visibly not as energetic as what the report is saying, guys. It's an interesting situation because he also said earlier on the only way he can help Marcus is if Marcus wants it himself. And I didn't disagree with that. Any player that wants to win, wants to improve, wants to be better, has to want to accept criticism so that they can actually improve and has to be willing to accept the direction of their leadership. And that's my honest opinion. Not from Fabrizio, we're getting Edson, Naipan, Oshimen, or Ferguson. It depends on who we sell, and also Alvaro may come back. That's from Fab's YouTube. On about transfers, by the way. Of course, my bro. You know your boys on transfers as well. Thank you for that addition, Will. Big up to you, broski. Hope you're having a good night. Big up for that one. I was going to get to some of that transfer news as well. I've been hearing about that, but there are also some alternative options, which I'm going to be mentioning tonight. But I just wanted to break on the Rashford story, guys, because I know a lot of people are all ears about number 10, and it could see that Marcus Rashford could be out of the door in January. Let's see how it breaks and how it goes. But some other alarming news, guys, and it's coming about the number 7, and it's not other than Mason Mount. And as you know, he was with was withdrawn from the game due to an injury. And this is the latest update on his injury and what's happening with Luke Shaw as well. Man United dramatic victory, as fans are buzzing, we know, but there's always some disappointment to be had, and Mason Mount injury woes has continued. Mount's contribution was cut short as he was substituted just 13 minutes into the game. The incident occurred after the stretch led to the discomfort, raising concerns about his availability for the upcoming games. Ruben has expressed his frustration, noting he fits our style. He's a very good player inside and also outside the pitch. That's interesting because, as you know, guys, I don't really rate Luke Shaw, but apparently the manager rates him very highly. The type of character we want in this team and the club want. He made the movement and stretched his leg. He felt something, but we need him. Unfortunately, the potential return date for Mount remains uncertain, leaving a gap in the midfield that Manchester would need to address promptly. Another setback for Luke Shaw as his season continues to be plagued by injuries as well, and it seemed poised to a full return to fitness, but a new injury setback occurred last month. The specifics of his condition have not been disclosed, and thus his timeline for returning to action is very much unclear. Short absence could pose a challenge for United's defensive setup, especially with a series of important fixtures on the horizon. Now, Johnny Evans inches closer to return, guys, so that's good news as well. Lenny Euro has been receiving minutes and he has been performing well. He did a very sterling job, in my opinion, coming on in the dying embers of the game. And I think he was looking like he's priming up to be a very much quality centre back that will displace some of these players. Talking about that, guys, let's get into another one of the top stories really quickly as we talk about centre backs. And this time I'm going to talk about some outgoings at Manchester United, guys, because you know what? Just as important as the incomings are, we're going to have to do some business. And like Will is talking about some of the players we would like to get signed, well, this is how we're going to make some of that money. Galatasaray is hell bent on signing Victor Lindelof from Man United. And you know they're a team that usually sign players who are not at the prime best anymore, but still can offer something with the likes of, Matip and these guys going there, Mauro Icardi, Hakim Ziyech, and Victor Osimhen. It's one of those things. And their attention are turning to Victor Lindelof. After turning 30 years old in July, the former Benfica man could be open to a move to Turkey, especially if he doesn't receive any enticing offers from the European top leagues. And it's said that Galatasaray is seriously interested and they might be willing to make a move for the Swede, possibly in the January window, just to secure his services. Because they see him as as an approach that they could have for the next 4 to 5 seasons in their club. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. That will certainly present an opportunity for Old Trafford to cash in on this player, probably somewhere in the region of 8 to 12 million euros. May not be much, but it will certainly go a long way into opening up spending. You know what I mean? And as the hierarchy met today, guys, and as you know, we was already discussing the possible outgoing of Marcus Rashford. This was a discussion that was probably very tough for the hierarchy, knowing that they had put a lot of their hopes on Marcus Rashford. But as you can see, there is a lot of change coming. Manchester United have been said to be looking at some new attacking options, both young and interesting options, and a possible loan. So let's get into the young options, guys, because there's going to be an interesting one right now, as I can tell you. And this young player, he is on the thumbnail. He is 17 years old. He's the young European sensation. He's been scoring goals for fun at Olympiacos, and we're talking about Charalampos Kostoulas ahead of the January transfer window. According to all news and team talk and German media, the 17-year-old Greek is the under 21 international striker, and he's been attracting the attention of the scouts and bigwigs in Europe. And right now, Manchester United scouts are said to be keeping a very keen eye on this young striker. And as you know, we have been snapping up some young talent. And it's been after he's had an impressive campaign with the under 19s. And his current run with the senior team has seen him playing a key role in helping Olympiacos reserve squad win the UEFA Youth Team last year, weighing in with 5 goals and 2 assists in 8 games to emerge as the best young player in Greece's second division, where the B team compete. And Man United are now scouting him. The Red Devils sent scouts to Paris to watch him in action against FC 20 in the Europa League last Thursday, where he did impress, putting in a man-of-the-match performance in a goalless draw and winning a spot kick at Ayoub El Kababi wasted. the top striker wasted his chance after what? If you see that dribble, guys, I don't have the clip here to show you, but you can check it out on the highlight reel. It's an amazing piece of work by the young 17-year-old playing up against a very experienced defense, a very good defense in FC20, which kept us from scoring multiple times. And obviously, you know how good their keeper was. Man United are not the only ones who are said to be interested in the services of Kostoulas, with Bayern Munich, Juventus, Fiorentina, and Borussia Mönchengladbach also set to make an approach for the young teenage sensation. He's had 2 goals and an assist in 10 league matches, and Old Trafford club believe that he could be a huge player in the future given his potential. While landing him next month or in the summer would be cheap as his current deal runs out in 2026, Olympiacos want to offer him a new contract once he turns 18 in May, having become a key player for their first team under manager Jose Luis Mendilibar. The likes of Alejandro Garnacho, Kobe Mainoo, and Amad Diallo have become key members of the senior team at Man United, while many youngsters were recruited at youth team level last summer. More young signings are expected to be going forward, with the signing of the likes of Diego Leon already coming in. This young Greek could be another one on the horizon. Guys, keep an eye on this young signing. You might be hearing news about this signing ramping up in the next few weeks. But moving on from that, let's get into some interesting news about another young striking sensation. And we're talking about young Keenan Yildiz. And I'm telling you guys, this guy is very, very interesting. He's a young striker, 19 years old. He plays his football at Juventus. Of course, he's from Turkey as well. He's an interesting forward, man. And we have although we have been looking for strikers and we do want an experienced forward, there's also reports that Man United are looking for a striker that also fits the profile that the manager wants, that might not necessarily be an experienced striker. However, if Marcus Rashford is to be sold, there might be enough to go in and get a young striker as well as a senior striker. And talking about that, the attacking reinforcement, and in case it doesn't come, international doors end up, the Red Devils will need reinforcement. And down the left and Juventus, Keenan Yildiz has emerged as a serious option. He excels down the left, as you can see where I'm getting at if Marcus Rashford is sold, and he can play across the entire front line. He has a support striker if needed. He has 4 goals and 4 assists from 18 starts across all competitions this season. Ever since Ineos came on board, the club strategy has shifted from signing old superstars to focusing on trying to acquire the best young talents from across the globe. And the young Turk certainly fits the bill. As per Corriere dello Sport, the 20-time English League champions have sent an interesting proposal to Turin-based club after being impressed with the 19-year-old display when Juve beat City. United are keen on Yildiz. United eyes widen wherever they see the Turkey international in action, and his display in the midweek has rekindled their interest in the attacker. The Bianconeri have no plans of parting ways with the former Bayern Munich starlet, signing a new deal which will keep the player to Turin until 2029. United remain one of their great admirers of the young footballer and have been following his exploits since his days in Bavaria. Juventus are aware that United and other big clubs return to the charge and are even planning to further talks in 2025 to bring Yildiz earnings up to speed with the other top earners in Thiago Motta's squad so as to avoid the potential of losing him on the cheap. Let's see how it goes, guys. Of course, these are some recent reports of interest, serious interest, guys, I would say to you guys. So it might be a potential to see that one of these deals could be shockingly taking place. But let's see how that goes because, as you know, Man United, they have lots of things that they're planning to work out. And one of these things might be a possible loan for this guy. And of course, a lot of you know this guy. He comes from Borussia Mönchengladbach as well. And we're talking about the PSG star Kolo Muani, and this is a possible loan as he is set for an exit amidst Manchester United interest. According to L'Equipe, Paris Saint-Germain forward Randall Kolo Muani has been deemed surplus to requirements by Luis Enrique, sparking the interest from Man United and RB Leipzig. The 26-year-old French international, once seen as an integral part of PSG's attacking force, now faces an uncertain future at the Parc des Princes. Omitted from the squad, Kolo Muani's exclusion from PSG squad against Olympique Lyonnais last Sunday evening underscored Enrique's stance. Despite it being fit and available for selection, the forward was left out entirely, signaling that his role as PSG is all but over. Guys, what are your thoughts on him? I'm not too fancied about this guy, to be honest. Maybe he might come in and suit the way we want to play and be a really top player. I will not, I will be open and I will hold my hands up if that's the situation, guys. But I ask myself, why does Enrique not want this guy? PSG just paid something in the region of 50 million pounds to get this guy. Why would they not want him anymore? Why is he basically omitted from the squad? Iced out, froze. It's interesting. He is a good player. Dropping him from the squad to face Olympic Lyonnais on Sunday even made it eventually clear that 26-year-old is no longer part of his plans. Such decisions reflect PSG's desire to offload players who are no longer fit for their project, and Kolomuani's situation now appears untenable. Now, renowned transfer specialist Fabrizio Romano revealed that Kolomuani will be allowed to leave PSG during the January transfer window, and he reported that if Muani is allowed to leave League One champions in January window due to his weakening status at the Parisians. Manchester United interest comes amidst of their search for attacking reinforcements through the club as battling internal challenges before committing to a move. A loan deal either with or without an option to buy seems the most feasible outcome at this stage. Meanwhile, RB Leipzig are also actively monitoring the situation as they look to bolster their forward lineup. A surprise falling from grace. Kolomuani's decline at PSG is surprising given his previous successes at Eintracht Frankfurt. His versatility and goal-scoring instincts made him a prime signing for PSG just months ago. However, Luis Enrique tenure has brought changes to in philosophy, leaving players like Muani in the cold. You know what I mean? He's a pacey striker. He makes some intelligent runs. He does have clinical finishing qualities. United may have lacked that, but let's see. He also has that versatile option. But the reason why I'm saying I'm not too sure, because if it's anything more than a loan, guys, I think United will probably look for the likes of Keenan Yildiz, who we were speaking about before, or maybe even the young striker. There's a lot of options in this transfer window, guys. And I think Ruben Amorim has proven that he will go young. He's not afraid to stick with his guns and do make a decision that he chooses and deems fit. So, what are your thoughts on this, guys? Big up to all of you joining. Big up to Drex in the building, bro. How you doing, bro? I'm well. Big up to Embo. Yeah, bro. Your boy bagged them up last night. Got a good one. He had a big game. Big up to you, broski. Yildiz is good. I think he might fit in the nine because I don't think he can play in one of the tens. Well, he's very good off the left as well. So let's see how that works out. We don't need Mwani. He's not good, bro. Paris bottled the transfer and they regret signing him. Now they want to release him. We don't need him. Bro, I think we definitely agree on that because I'm not a fan of this guy. Not for one bit. Let's be honest. I don't mind going with a young option like this guy. He seems young, fresh. I'm not gonna say I see a lot of his games, but I did happen to watch the game in midweek. You know what I mean? It was interesting. One of my friends was doing the watch along, so I was checking it out while watching his watch along. So he is an interesting player. I would not mind it, especially if we get him at a good price. If we can get Rashford gone for 60 million, maybe we can get this guy for 30. You never know. Then we'll be doubling down because we get this guy for 30. We might could get one or two other players in. We already know that we are possibly in for Alvaro Fernandez Carreras, who was once Man United's player but was sold by the club last season under Ten Hag. Maybe we get him. He's only worth 16.2 million euros. That's going to be able to get those two players in and possibly another. There's some reports said that we are being linked to none other than Miguel Gutierrez. So it might be interesting to see what's happening there. Miguel Gutierrez might present an interesting option at the left back, but then that might be signaling the likes of Luke Shaw and maybe even Malasia being deemed as surplus options. Although, albeit there might be other players deemed surplus and moved on, and maybe those players move into right centre back roles. But I think Luke Shaw, maybe the likes of Lindelof, could be pushed out with Evans, and you can see the likes of the young player that we brought in, Diego Leon, who's coming in for just about 3.5 million pounds. But there's some add-ons in the deal, but it's add-ons, but the initial fee is what we're talking about right now. But he's going to come in and play left back, probably left center back at times, switch it up. You never know. You get another young player like Gutierrez, who's experienced, can play the left wing back role. It's going to be interesting. Bro, You just had to ruin it, bro. You just had to ruin it, right? You ruined my day. You talking about Sancho, bro? Nah, man. I want Sancho to play for Trinidad. Don't get me wrong, bro. But not for Man United, bro. He can do it. He can cut it. It's no one's fault but his. Ahmad didn't run away. He fought. Yeah, he is a proper wingback, broski. He definitely is. Big up to Admiral Drex in the building. If you want to jump in, guys, I'm here for like 10 more minutes. I'm gonna drop the link if you guys want to come in and have your say about the transfers that we talked about. Because these are transfers, and trust me, guys, I spoke about Giovanni Quenda 6 weeks before everyone else, and people were asking me, "Are you crazy? Who is this guy?" And then they saw him against City, and everyone is saying, "Get me Giovanni." So, guys, pay attention because you know what? I'm not saying I'm in the know, but what I'm saying is there's proper young talent out there. You just need to look in the right places. There's so many of them. You can look at them, scout one or two. I get lucky with some of the ones that I've scouted last summer. As you guys could see, some of the players I definitely banked on that we were getting, we signed most of them. I was almost four. I was almost 5 out of 5. Really got 4 out of 5 to be honest. You know what I mean? Didn't expect us to sign Joshua Zirkzee. I was hoping for us to sign more in the likes of, a Benjamin Sesko type striker. That was more my favorite. But at the end of the day, you put your hands up, you get things wrong. It's how it is. We're not in the know, but we do research. So you hit and you miss sometimes. But it's definitely an interesting situation that Man United see themselves in this current moment. Gutierrez is a proper wing back. You know what I mean? And there's going to be very interesting situation and developments because we have young talent coming through. We know Ruben Amorim could develop young talent, but there's a lot having to go on because maybe these young talent were just getting familiar to one new style of football. Now they have to change the way they want to play. They have to now play in a similar way that Ruben wants them to play so that they now can make their path to the first team even smoother. If there will always be a path. Who knows? We can see 3, 4 youngsters be promoted. There's the likes of Dan God Jr., who's been rallying the Chargers in the youth teams right now, making his comeback from injury as man of the match 4 games in a row. There's young Tyler Fletcher who's been tearing up the wings. There's also Kyle Shea Lacey. So the future is bright for Man United. There's lots that United can do. I know there are lots of big names like Jonathan David and these guys, but they are young talent that we can get for bang for our buck, a better deal, and they can be proper stars. Ralph Ragnick had the right formula. He was going to bring in players, 9 players for less than 60 million. And if we see where those players are today, well, of course, we already know where a lot of them and who a lot of them are. We would have had them at United, but they are not here. So what we have to do now is get some players that we could develop, not only that, but get some experience in as well. But we have to do it in a smart way because, yes, guys, we do have money, but there's still the looming FFP. And that's the interesting situation that Man United find themselves in this precarious situation after some poor decisions over the last decade. And, people might blame on Ten Hag, but realistically, Man United make the decisions to sign these checks. So we have to blame it on poor decision making. Now, the structure has sold well last summer. They've sold in up in the region of 87 million pounds in worth of players last summer. Let's see what they do with players in this January window. And people might say, who's going to come in for Marcus Rashford? But PSG is interested. Barcelona is interested. There's possibly other Premier League clubs that will be interested. Who's to say Bayern Munich wouldn't be interested? He's definitely better than Kingsley Coman. I can tell you that for free. And I don't rate Kingsley Coman, but I'm being honest, seriously. So we can check it out. Have some patience. Man United is definitely going to do some business in the transfer window. I can tell you that for free. I've been hearing a lot of talk about a busy transfer January for Manu, which is kind of a shock to me because we've never really had one. But to say that we're going to have one, I don't want to put my neck out there just yet. But this is how the rumblings are seeming. And we are being linked to a lot of young talent. If you keep watching my streams, guys, the transfer mark is live every day. Usually it's a midday stream, guys, but if I don't have time on the lunchtime, I'll bring it up in the evening. Big up to Genghis Khan Jr. in the building. You would love Rashford to come to Arsenal. Well, bro, just bring 60 mil. You can have him. If you offer 60 mil, they're selling him to you. I promise you. They will take that 60 mil. I promise you. And he will come. And I wouldn't mind. He probably would enjoy living in London. You know, he's young, looking for a different vibe. He needs a different vibe. You know what I mean? Ruben Amorim was watching the under 21s game and he saw Dan Gore doing well. I'm sure he will get his chance. Well, Dan Gore did get his chance on the Ten Hag. The only issue was he ended up getting a 6 month injury that delayed him. You know what I mean? Well, Genghis, maybe you should. You know what I mean? You should join the crew, come and have your say and have your chats about Arsenal. There's always time. You know, you could always come in and have your say about Arsenal. We do face Arsenal coming up pretty soon. If you want, you could come in and be on the panel in the match reactions and have your say about Arsenal. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I got a lot of friends who's Arsenal fans, and of course, you know what I mean. We see you as more rivals than really City, even though you haven't won a Champions. You know what I mean? You're still a big team. And shout out to you, my brother. Big up to you. You know. But you know, if you can get them to take Rashford, bro, I'm definitely gonna be supporting that. Big up to Connie in the building. Oh, you're United. You're only buzzing. Big up to you. Big up. Yo, Connie, how was the weekend, broski? Hope it was good, man. I definitely know you guys were having the best one. And yeah, I think I'm holding an L at the end of the season, you know. I never said that Ahmad was a bad player, but I didn't rate him to the level that everyone does. So yeah, and I did have some wild things that I said because I was frustrated with guys. I think they're overhyping him. Not that he might not deserve the hype. I'm just saying we should like just keep it at a status quo, let him just rise and do his thing, and you know how we trainees would say, mash up the season, and then we could all brag about it after the season is done because he did all these amazing things. But it is what it is, guys. You know what I mean? I've been misunderstood, but that's how it goes. How you guys doing? Big up, buzzing with the derby. It was good performance, fully deserved 3 points. Gangas, let me ask you guys a question. Big up to Mbo as well, and big up to Overhead Kick TV. Let me ask you guys a question, right? Answer honestly. In the last two games, the substitution of Anthony, his link up with Ahmad, did it not, or is it not a fluent situation that also opens up the play for Ahmad? You know, because I kind of get the feeling that when Anthony came on in both games, Ahmad shined even more. It's like the way they linked up, they have a good connection, a good chemistry playing together. They did damage and did work on the defenders in both games. And we've seen the results. We've got both dubs. So what are you guys saying about that? Charges, charges, charges. Raw. Big up, bro. What do you guys think about that, bro? Because I was just thinking that, you know what I mean? Ahmad is the man of the match of the last two games. Let's not take that away from him. But I was just thinking to myself that I kind of liked the performance from Anthony, and I feel like they played well together. And off of that, it kind of opened the game up because the defender now wasn't able to really focus on Ahmad anymore because he had to deal with Anthony as well. And it opened up the game for Ahmad, and Ahmad just took the game. So I don't know. I feel like I would like to see them playing together more often, maybe starting games together. What do you guys think? They played well at Overhead Kick TV says they played well in those tight spaces. I want to see that again. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Anthony has looked tidy when he's come on. Definitely, I'd play Anthony ahead of Rashford or Garnacho every time. Oh shit, big up, bro. Yeah, bro, if I had said that, bro, they would kill me for saying that, man. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad that I got to read that. Of course, it was proper. Anthony on the right wing back with Ahmad as a thread man. They link up well and they give us a real attacking outlet. Broski, shout out to you. Yeah, he definitely puts in a shift, man. He definitely puts in a shift. And I think it's looking positive, guys. You know, it's not perfect yet. And trust me, I know a lot of people will have some criticisms about the way Manchester United have been playing in the last few games or whatnot. But for me, guys, what I will say is I'm really impressed by the fact that they are learning on the job and in a way they're able to keep up pace and perform, you know what I mean, and show up when it matters. Like, okay, like let's be honest, we want to see good football, but it's no guarantee that, you know, when you come up against teams like Man City with Pep Guardiola as head coach, you're not expecting to see brilliant, amazing football, but you're expecting to get a result. You're expecting to see resilience, a good performance, a fight from the players, especially because it's a city derby as well. So when I look at it and I think about it, guys, I felt like I saw what I expected to see of a Man United team playing against Man City. It's not the perfect game, but I felt impressed. I saw the idea. I saw what we were trying to do. We looked very compact. We stopped Man City from what they were trying to do, and Pep really didn't have an answer. And then, yeah, we did concede, but bro, we took the game at the end. It can't get better than a last minute win, guys. Big up. What up, Gula season? With the scene, homie? Big up, bro. What's good? How you feeling about this game, bro? Let me know now, bro. Like, and I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the chat, bro, but it looks like Amorim is not that impressed with Marcus Rashford. I'll just do a little recap for you guys who know popping in. It really looks like, Marcus Rashford, his time might be up, guys. And this is not me. Like, I'm not the one trying to say this about Marcus, but there's some reports coming in up from Melissa Reddy that Ruben Amorim has not been impressed with his performances, by his effort, his lack of determination, his body language, and his attitude, even when he found out that he wasn't starting, my bro. So I don't know what you might think about that, but for me, I think this is definitely a positive. I feel like, not to hate the guy or anything like that, but it's kind of frustrating seeing this player with such talent not perform well, not perform to his potential to the level that we all hope and believe that he can. So maybe he needs a change, and that change might provide an opening for a player like Ahmad or whatever to step into a role, and really blossom. So maybe it's a good time. It's the right time. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but let me know because yeah, bro, you're like me. We should move on. There's some interest coming in from Galatasaray, some concrete interest for Victor Lindelof. It's set that will be an interesting situation if they were to get their way. There are reports that Man United might be in for a loan with Kolo Muani. For me, I don't really rate the guy, but he did come up with a high profile in the last 2 seasons after his performance at Eintracht Frankfurt. However, he has seen himself being dropped from the team by Luis Enrique. There are, however, some positive reports I would say about this young rising striker, Kenan Yildiz, the Turkish international. He plays at Juventus, 19 years old, 4 goals, 4 assists in all competitions so far. Decent return, I would say. Good performance from a young player. He did score a winner against Man City in the midweek as well. So he's not a player that can play in big games. You know what I mean? So let's see how that goes. There's another young striking sensation coming all the way out of Greece, and I'm talking about Kostoulas. Young striking sensation, 17 years old, plays for Olympiacos. Won them a penalty midweek where the senior striker missed. He should have had it scored. He was also deemed the man of the match, and they had a goalless draw. For 17 years old, I think that's pretty damn impressive, guys. I don't know what your thoughts are about these two young information, but you guys should check him out. One plays at Juventus, the other plays at Olympiacos, and he did a number on FC20. So if you guys remember FC20, this guy at 17 did a number on them. I think they both look young and interesting, and hopefully maybe we do get one of them. You know what I mean? We need lots of options, and they will provide that. They are not that expensive. Big up to Embo. If we put all agendas aside, Anthony is not what people think. He's a good player. He has basic fundamentals and can do give and goes. And he defends well. He's so humble and he's working hard. Yeah, bro, that's actually what I actually think about him. I know others might be disappointed in some of his performances and whatnot, but yeah, bro, interesting. Check him out, Genghis Khan. Trust me, I only happened to luckily watch the game in midweek against City. I don't really watch their games, but one of the guys I do streams with, Temba Banks, was doing their stream, so I was watching the game and in his chats. Yildiz looks great. Everybody's liking Lil Yildiz. You guys probably watch him more than I do. I'll have to watch some more Juventus games, so I'll try to watch some more so I can give a better description of this guy. This Kostoulas you scored today for Olympiacos. I saw it. And I know you're always watching Greek football, bro. I don't know how you're always watching this football, bro. But big up, bro. Big up to you, Embo. You know, it's going to be interesting, guys. There are a lot of possible options coming up in the transfer window. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I've been here. We are possibly linked already with something like 47 players, guys. 47 players. I've only talked like about 12 or 15. I still have like 10 more players on the list to bring to you guys. You'll hear about more of them tomorrow, maybe another 5 or 6. I definitely have lots of information to bring to you. I'm just waiting for some of the reports to come through, but definitely you will have that bright and early in the morning. The morning show is going to be a transfer show as well. As you know, we're ramping up the transfers as we kick off. It's about to be open soon. So it's going to be very interesting. So if you guys haven't seen it, you know, just check back the beginning of the stream. You'll get all the in-depth reports about each of the different stories that we mentioned in the recap just now. I would like to thank you all for joining me. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. Guys, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe on your way out. Please leave a comment and criticism in the live or in the non-live section if you have the chance. And please share it around. Help the channel grow. Road to 2K is here. Let's get there, guys. Big up to you, each and every one of you. Big up to Mbo in the building. Big up to you, Genghis Khan. Big up to Overhead Kick TV as well. Big up to you guys for coming in. Big up to Drex and big up to Will Man United. Big up to you as well, Joe Blackman. Bro, yeah, bro. I'm now finishing up, bro. Big up to you, bro. But you can watch it back, Joe. Tell me what you think. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think about the players that we looked at. You know, there's some interesting young players that I talked about. You might even like the options, so check them out. Let me know what you think. Smash a like, guys. Big up to all of you, and thank you for joining me. It's been your boy Mark and MUFC fan, and you know what it is. Smash the likes, and let's keep it growing. This community is the best in the world. Big up to you guys.
Baby.